Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, rockin' time is here. That's right. We're talking Benny Mardones' classic Into the Night, inexplicably. On Kill by Kill, we're killing the video star. Greetings and salutations, Internet. It's your old pal, Patrick Hamilton, coming to you once again from an undisclosed borough of Cleveland or
I actually think it's
Brooklyn?
pretty neat. I think it's supposed to be New York because they're flying over the East River at some point.
At some point. This is Kill by Kill, special edition. We're killing video stars because we're not ready to talk about movies yet.
Yeah, we're going into this knowing that probably 6 people are going to listen to this episode, and that's fine. You are our people, and we love you. We love you.
Normally we would talk about a movie's characters in the order in which they die. Unfortunately, no one in this music video dies on screen. That being said, many of our episodes you could probably listen to without watching the motion picture, although it's enhanced by that. I would urge people that if they are not familiar with Benny Mardones' Into the Night, that they just Google it real fast. It's on YouTube in a dozen places. And you need to witness some of this for yourself before we get started.
I have long been obsessed with this video. If you go to my website, I have written at length about this video, breaking it down because it is remarkable.
Oh, yes, it truly is. And before we go any farther, I should probably introduce you as the only person that I trust that if you could fly, you would pick me up. The one, the only Gena Radcliffe.
I would do that as long as you have this bizarre 1,000-yard stare the entire time that we're on our magic carpet ride.
Yeah, there's Benny, his on-screen presence leaves a lot to be desired, but at a certain point, he appears to try to be hypnotizing everything that's on screen, not just human beings, but payphones, the sidewalk, cigarettes. He discards everything.
Yeah, let's take a little moment here. This song, which was a huge hit, that was released twice.
Yes.
It was released, I think, originally, I want to say 1981, and then again in 1989. Yeah. Inexplicably. I think it was his only hit.
Yes.
But people fucking loved this song. It came from an era in which grown-ass men with no amount of shame talked about their desire for underage women.
Yes. And now
along with Kiss's Christine 16.
Yeah.
Winger's 17.
Yes.
And you could probably look up a long list of of songs that praise the virtue of very young women.
Yeah, a Cat Scratch Fever might be in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs that use the phrase little girl.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah.
It's soup's gross. Now, granted, so much of pop music is aimed towards people of high school age. So there's some desire within, ultimately much older groups of people singing about teenage emotions. That being said, at the time of its initial release, Benny was over 30.
Yeah, Benny was 33 to be exact. Now, the legend behind the writing of this song was that he was writing about a friend who was tied up with a girl who was far too young for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's changed his story over the years. Another one that sort of has been out there was that he had a next door neighbor who she was 16 in a family, and the father had left the family to live with another woman. And as a sort of gesture of kindness, he had hired this girl to walk his dog. And it was born out of wanting to relieve her of this situation in life.
So it's like his version of Hey Jude.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But kind of gross.
Yeah, but sleazy. A sleazy Jude. That is, both of these versions are undercut by the music video, which makes it very plain that Benny would like to be doing it with your daughter proper.
Yes.
And finds your objections to it just goofy. Like, why would you do this, old man?
When he is run off the property by the girl's father, who looks like an Amish farmer. He turns the camera and rolls his eyes like, can you believe this guy? I mean, come on.
What would be his objection to me, a 33-year-old man, dating his 16-year-old daughter? I mean, come on. I'm only twice this girl's age.
That's a lot of. You also have to really understand this particular era when music video was very new, and it had, and this is going to be the issue with our next episode. Yeah, we're doing this twice, people. So
we might be doing it for longer than that. We're not up to
strap
speed.
in. We may really enjoy doing this and taking a little bit of a hiatus from horror for a little while.
Torpedo this entire show's format.
It was a visual a visual venue for people who had no business being in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Another video I would say that it would be hilarious to look up if you've never seen it is Journey's Separate Ways.
Oh my god.
Where you get to see people play the air keyboards.
Yeah.
Unironically, mind you, they are doing it because they think it looks cool.
Yes.
You have a lot of men in their 30s very overacting for the camera. And Benny Mardones, not a particularly attractive man.
No. He has
excellent hair. His hair is very good.
I mean, I don't think he ever walked into a salon and didn't say, "Give me the Jacqueline Smith." I mean, it's very finely coiffed and has waves in places that don't exist. But sadly, and we don't want to come down on his looks necessarily, but he doesn't have a face for music video.
No, he's got kind of a little bit of a creeper stare, which he uses often. He's got, and again, I don't have a face for cameras. So
nor do I. No.
I feel like I could say this. He's got, kind of bad skin.
Yeah.
But he, thought that he, rather than having an actor be in the video, which a lot of musicians would simply do later, he just did it himself.
Yes.
And he did nothing to not illustrate how very much older he was than this actress playing his love interest.
He seems to be proud of it, in fact. Let's really go in moment by moment and talk about the progression of hell that is Benny Mardones Into the Night. We open on Benny, resplendent in a French small sailor tee on his medium-sized torso, fiercely smoking. Like it's about to be outlawed. He's really into it. He, of course, tosses that cigarette right on the sidewalk in front of him. That's not enough. He's got to kick it. I've never seen someone try to kick a cigarette that they're finished with. That's a first one for me. But thank God the costuming isn't done, because he also is wearing a jacket with zhuzhed sleeves.
Yes.
So fire up your "what marketing genius came up with this one" imitations, because it's all over the place. He knocks on a door like the person on the other side owes him money. And he opens and the door opens in, and we witness, I wrote down 1976 era Jerry Garcia.
I I just said he just looks like an Amish farmer or like a minor character in a Smokey and the Bandit movie.
Yes. Yeah. That pretty much nails it. I mean, he's got suspenders. It's a wild look. And the blue shirt does really leap off Amish. But basically, at this point, this man is given part of the lyrics.
Yeah, which the lyrics is the only part that if you like, hey, you ever heard that song Into the Night? I don't know. How does it go? She's just 60. Wait, nope, I haven't heard that song.
But right away, the story that he told people about, no, it's not about me and a 16-year-old girl, just flies out the window because what is being acted out here is that, he totes wants to get with your 16-year-old daughter. And if you say leave her alone, he's like, we're separated by fools.
Yeah, it is a classic. They don't understand our love, which, we've all known that person who is in a relationship they have no business being in. And when every single person in their life points that out to them, their response is, well, you don't understand.
Yeah. And it's not so much, here's the problem. It's not so much that I don't understand. It's that I don't condone and it's wrong. So there we go. Understanding has very little to do with it.
Well, usually in these types of situations, the older male suitor will try to claim that she is mature for her age.
Right.
Which, whatever the fuck that means, I have no idea.
And if you're saying to yourself, but Gena Patrick, obviously the setup isn't great, but this doesn't sound, what you're alluding to sounds creepy, but the video doesn't sound super creepy.
Hold on there.
Hold on. It only takes 50 fucking seconds for this music video to show Benny rounding the corner into an alleyway and looking directly into this underage girl's bedroom window.
And she is just sitting there catatonic. She does not acknowledge his presence.
Yeah.
She does not seem to be aware that anybody is there.
Yeah.
And she never does.
No.
He at one point near the end of the video, he shows up with a literal magic carpet. And she just sits there, just staring off into the middle distance.
Hoping that this will all go away. And here's the deal. If a guy shows up to your window with his own carpet, that's not a good sign.
No.
You're going to end up rolled up in that carpet.
Yes.
So it starts on him looking in, and then you have a smash cut that really only makes this worse. Because from the angle of inside of her bedroom, we now see him and her, their faces so very close, mere inches away from one another. Her, like you said, staring off into the middle distance. Here's the problem the director's got. All right, from this angle, if I shoot this way, I'm just going to see the street. I'm going to see people hanging out. You're not going to focus on these two people. How do I fix this problem? And he goes, get me that white van with the darkened windows, park it right behind him.
Give me a murder van.
Give me a murder van and just smash it right up against him. And that will lessen the creepiness, he thought to himself. And I hate to break it to him all these many years later, but it only makes it worse.
But yet it gets worse than that. Because when she does not respond to him staring through her bedroom window, he decides he's going to try to call her.
Yes, this is when Benny Mardones transforms in my mind, because it becomes night and it sort of takes on this Steve Perry but make it vampire look that he's got going on.
And he's also wearing a wedding ring. Which I the first time I watched this video, I went back and thought, wait, that is his wedding ring hand. That's his wedding ring hand. He's wearing a wedding ring.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Listen, this is all fantasy. This is cinema. This doesn't exist in the real world. It's just a 33-year-old married guy calling a 16-year-old teenage girl at night from a public phone.
And they show her picking up the phone, still just staring off into space, like she's waiting, on hold with her insurance company.
Yeah. I mean, there's an insert shot that I suppose is meant to prove to the audience that the call isn't coming from inside the house. The problem is that he is calling from this public phone and he's framed off to the right. And they want to insert her into the shot. So you get the sort of senior portrait dissolve where she's inserted into the lower right-hand corner. But it also, like, if your aim is to reduce the creep level here, I'm not entirely sure that superimposing an underage girl's face at his belly level is the way you go about it.
I think more than anything else, I'm baffled by the director's direction to this actress to make it look like you could not possibly give one single shit about what he's saying. I mean, I am pretty old, but I remember being a teenager, and if teenage girls are anything, they are incredibly dramatic.
Yeah.
Particularly when it comes to relationships. And again, she looks like she has survived a recent trauma. Just absolutely emotionless, affectless. Yeah. It's really unsettling. If nothing else.
No, she looks like she has a trauma that she has buried that is clawing its way to the surface while the camera is on her. And she thinks, if I don't move my face, if I don't react, it'll all go away. And then it doesn't, because it's on camera forever. Benny is not a close-up person. No. And this music video is convinced that he is.
Yeah,
and you really get a lot of his eyeliner going on here. And it only makes it worse. It makes him look like Alice Cooper, but not trying that hard.
I'm sure that a lot of, he had a lot of female fans just based entirely on this song. But yeah, it's a little bit like, do you remember when maybe sometime in the mid 80s, Kiss took their makeup off?
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, these guys are really homely.
Well, I mean, because with the makeup, the genius of that sort of over the top presentation is that they're kind of anything you want them to be, right? And, they could sculpt their faces, as it were, to give themselves jaw lines, cheekbones, and there's an air of mystery to it. And when you take that mystery away, lo and behold, it does not hold up quite as well visually.
It's like John Mulaney. Oh, they're ugly. And again, I'm not a looker, so I feel like I could say this.
Yeah, I'm not coming at this from like, well, I'm a physical specimen, so I'm really coming down on him. All I'm saying is there are ways for you to accomplish this music video that don't make Benny Mardones look worse than the song already makes him.
Yeah, I mean, he has a face for radio.
Absolutely. And it should be noted, he sings like a motherfucker. This guy has got a set of pipes you wouldn't goddamn believe. He's really good at singing up until the end of this song.
Where he's just like, ah!
Yeah, it makes it sound like his dick is caught in the gears of a bike. And that is this is a fine slow dance song up until the point, and then it hits that last one, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Are you okay? And then just to get into the meat of the idea in this song, the sort of the hook, as it were, is, and I quote, "If I could fly, I'd pick you up, I'd take you into the night and show you love like you've never seen, ever seen," and a lot of O's.
And this is also from a time when music videos took their lyrics very literally.
Right.
So you had like Devo's Whip It, which it was just, 4 minutes of Mark Mothersbaugh just whipping stuff.
Yeah. And he's great at it. It's mainly a performance video with occasional whipping. Yeah.
You've got the heavy metal video, Balls to the Wall, where the guy's like riding a wrecking ball.
Right.
It's just
but without it, where would we have the Wrecking Ball video from Miley? I mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I feel like that was like a tribute to the era of music videos that took the lyrics literally.
Yeah.
So he does indeed pick her up and take her into the night on a magic carpet.
And yeah, I mean, originally I was kind of hoping, like, is he going to transform into a giant bat? Is he going to be an eagle from, Lord of the Rings and snatch this poor girl off the ground and show a high school sophomore love that she's never seen, ever seen?
He's going to be he's going to be a Hawkman from Flash Gordon.
Listen, if he transformed into a fucking Hawkman, then I would be all on board with this. I would sweep all that sort of underage thing under the rug because there would be Hawkman action. But no, he comes with his own fucking rug.
And again, she does not give a shit.
Nope.
She's just kind of sitting there,
like
absolutely unimpressed.
I mean, they almost at first, after he unrolls this rug, he sits down and goes, "Would you like to sit down?" And there's a pause. And I don't think the pause was intentional.
She's thinking it over.
Yeah. She's like, I don't see this going anywhere. But then the thing is, it does go somewhere. The New York skyline is where it goes.
Very grainy New York skyline.
Yes. Obviously, they have purchased footage
from like 1965.
Of Super 8 footage of somebody who got a helicopter ride once.
They make out and it's like, ew.
Oh boy. And here's the deal. Yeah, they sit on sort of opposite sides, but then as they transition from one, like, how long can we keep this up and still keep people interested? Change. You begin to see smaller details of their accoutrement, and we learned that Benny is wearing white shoes with pink socks.
Oh, those socks are amazing.
And listen, I'm not saying anything. It's a great combo. I'm not sure it's a combo that works on him in this situation, because it's already weird having a song about a 30-year-old guy lusting after a 16-year-old girl. So, dressing like the girl that I sort of dated in junior high school is also weird for Bennett.
Yeah, even when they start making out, she's really not into it. And I'm like, where did you find this actress? Come on now.
I think she's trying to hide her face from the camera with her hair. At one point, he is grappling with her. Here's the deal. Benny has very large hands. You don't really know how large his hands are until he puts them on her shoulder, and you can see that he can basically palm her like a basketball. And the effect is unnerving, to say the least.
Yeah, he's got very large hands and again, it cannot be understated, a very large wedding ring.
That is on display and is not being hidden, which does not communicate what I think Benny wanted it to communicate. Maybe to his wife it worked, but to the audience, it is a red flag on top of the many red flags. It's a mountain of red flags.
Yeah, I don't imagine people were the video. I don't recall getting a lot of airplay on MTV. No.
This was a radio hit.
Yeah, it was very much a radio hit. And again, because I think people just, saw, that he was kind of like not super good looking guy. Like, well, I'm going to keep listening to him and just picture someone else.
Yeah. Again, like you said, if they had decided that he was just the Greek chorus or the balladeer to this 19-year-old kid dating a 16-year-old, it would have been infinitely less creepy. Of course, if you still have that kid looking in her first floor bedroom window, again, not a great sign. Just bad planning all the way around.
Yeah, it's just it's very little about this video could be spun in a way that doesn't make it incredibly creepy.
Is this the creepiest thing that we've watched on the show?
It's up there. I'll tell you, it's up there.
I was unnerved, and I've seen this video over the years. When you wrote your original article, I was like, oh yeah, I should watch that again. And it's one of those things you keep pushing whatever screen, like if you're watching it on a computer, you keep pushing it farther and farther away from your face. In the hopes that you gain distance from the guilt you feel watching it.
Like every time the video ends with them making out, I'm always like, ew, yeah. Even though I've watched it a number of times, and I've made other people watch it because I want to share that experience.
Yes. It's like the video that people see in The Ring. Only 7 days later, you're contacted by the FBI and put on a list.
You know, and YouTube being what it is, of course, you've got, you know, a number of commenters, you know, talking about how much the song meant to them back in the day, and, you know, how it's so romantic, and how they remember their own 35-year-old boyfriend fondly. And how, you know, oh, I'm 14 and I listen to this kind of music. You know?
Yeah. Oh boy. You know, I can't say, I mean, that's the thing. Like at the time that this would have come out, either time it was a hit. I wasn't a great listener of lyrics outside of hip hop because I wanted to learn and unpack all those lyrics. But when it came to like pop or rock music, R&B, I wasn't a purveyor of lyrics per se. I enjoyed melody. I enjoyed a tune, but I rarely paid attention to the actual lyrics of a song. And this is one of those that you need to teach your kids to pay attention to because it says too much about you. You need to know what you're doing if you're going to tell people to listen to this, and especially to watch this video.
Yeah, and again, it really, you know, we one thing we try to do on this show is do a reckoning with things from our youth.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this was from an era in which it was generally acceptable for adult men to be chasing women that were way too young for them.
Yeah.
I mean, we you know, we kind of, you know, claimed that you shouldn't do that, but you know, we understood why adult men were attracted to very young women.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of pop culture devoted to that kind of thing. You know, there were a lot of movies, you know, dedicated to. I mean, if you really want to lose sleep, you'll go read how Brooke Shields was treated.
Yeah.
When she was, we talked about this with on our Doppelganger episode.
Yes.
That Drew Barrymore was probably the last, you know, underage celebrity that we, you know, kind of gleefully treated like a sexual object. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, like Britney Spears and all, but I think like Drew Barrymore, it was, you know, kind of across the board, you know,
the mainstreaming of it, because Britney Spears was allowed to have a veneer of, oh, I'm a virgin. Oh, you know, I'm a Christian girl. You know, I'm just a girl dancing. And again, girls with bodies that people might sexualize are allowed to dance. Like it's not the girl's problem. It's really your problem. So there's part of that as well. But I think as a society, at least a proper society, we've learned that no one cares about your boner. And honestly, unless you are a teenager, you don't really need to sexualize teenagers. That's not your job.
Right. Like I one minor obsession I have is reading the People magazine archives,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a nightmarish article about how Brooke Shields at age 16 maybe was dating like 30-year-old John Travolta. Now it was obviously like a setup with their PR people. But just the whole tone of this article was just, very winking, and how, John was attracted to her purity, and it's just like, I don't know that John Travolta ever actually did anything with Brooke Shields. Probably not. But
Probably not.
The fact that their PR people thought that this would be a good match, to have this 16-year-old out in the town with a 29-year-old.
Yeah.
And that People magazine treated it like a fun, a fun fluff piece.
Yeah.
And, this was like 40 years ago, maybe. And it's more recent than we like to admit.
Yeah.
And, when I was 16, I dated a 23-year-old, and my parents were like, yeah, well, whatever, just don't tell us anything about it. And it's like, and having a daughter myself, I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, what were they thinking? But, it was a thing that, virtually every woman my age probably has their own "I dated a guy that was way too old for me" story.
Yeah.
And, it was just, nobody really cared.
Yes. And one has to wonder why such an idea was propagated. The patriarchy, perhaps. But we're not going to solve that here. Gena, would you recommend people watch and listen to Benny Mardones' Into the Night?
I would, because I think that if you're one of these people that really romanticizes, quote unquote, the past, this is a cold dash of water to the face.
It sure is.
Of how weird we were about young women and just, female sexuality. And just, again, I cannot state enough how bizarre it is that this actress does not react to him in any way. No, like she just sort of meekly lays down and lets him kiss her. And it's just like, that's weird. Why?
Yeah, she has all the enthusiasm as the team who puts together your Subway sandwich.
Like, maybe she's just a bad actress. I don't know. But I feel like she was directed to act like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of be sort of impassive.
It's like she's hypnotized. It's very weird. There's so many components of this video that are underthought, that it's a cavalcade. It's a beautiful clusterfuck of things.
Yeah, it's like, why did they not tell him to take his wedding ring off?
What's good to know is that Benny would go from this into a 5-year-long cocaine dissension that he only ascended from by moving to Syracuse, New York. But he did find a way to continue to be a musician. He was a songwriter for many years. Obviously, the song came back in 1989. A couple years ago, it was remixed into a dance hit, which is very fucking weird. But this song has lived on. Unfortunately, Benny has passed. He lost his battle with Parkinson's. But this is a singular piece of art. It is art.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, but it's art.
It's bad art, but it's art.
Yeah, no doubt. Gena, where can people find you on these here internets?
I am a writer at thespool.net. I review movies and television shows. Recently, I reviewed season 2 of Apple Plus TV's Servant.
Uh-huh.
I did not like it, but that doesn't mean you won't like it. So check it out if you feel so inclined. And I am also on Twitter way too much under Porcelain72.
Do it today, people. Check it out. You can find us on all the socials. You know where to see us. If you haven't rated and reviewed us on your podcatcher, please do so. It helps us to be seen and heard by more people. Our artwork is by Josh Hollis, and our music is by Revenge Body. You can visit them at revengebodymemphis.bandcamp.com. And that will do it for today. Next week, guess what? More of this. And just as weird, if not weirder, a story of how one music video can ruin an entire career, and we're going to talk all about it. Believe me, the body count will continue. So for myself and for Gena, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.